Right, hello everybody. It's the 20th of February 2024. Tonight's class is on gratitude, developing joy via gratitude. So a nice and easy one. Well, all meditations are quite easy if we're in the right frame of mind before we start them. That's why we do preliminary practices like body relaxation and breathing meditation. It gives our mind a chance to go from here to here, from left to right, or if we've had a difficult day in certain ways, then some meditations can be quite difficult because we've developed the opposite state of mind. So we do the preliminary practices, body relaxation and breathing meditation. And it doesn't matter how many times you've done these, they're still really important because it's quality over quantity. And if our mind is prepped well, then the main meditation touches our hearts more. And these are practices. So if it doesn't touch your heart straight away, then it sure as will gradually. It takes a little while sometimes for these things. Generally, gratitude is not too difficult a meditation, especially if we pick something out of our mind, out of our past, that's easy to feel grateful for. You might want to try something that's a little bit more difficult and challenging to feel grateful for, because sometimes our biggest challenges in life are what help us to develop the most empathy. Sometimes our struggles help us to put life in perspective. And sometimes we just feel gratitude anyway, because we love our kids, we love our grandkids, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, mums, dads, neighbours, friends. And we may feel grateful for our health. I was in a lot of pain last week. I ended up in A&E on morphine and things. And I sat there thinking, if somebody was in this much pain constantly, and there are people with chronic pain all the time, no amount of money is any use. Well, actually, in A&E, British NHS, probably a lot of money would be of use to get you into a private place and might get the pain away. But if it's something that's insurmountable with current technology, medical technology, there's no amount of money will be much good to somebody who's in chronic pain. So our health is, I might be preaching to the converted, our health is invaluable. And that word invaluable is easy to use, gets used a lot, particularly on things like Antiques Roadshow and stuff like that. But health really is invaluable, and we can feel grateful for having only a small amount of aches and pains as we get older, as opposed to a dramatic amount. So we'll do the body relaxation first. If you'd like to get into a comfortable position, back comfortably straight. Crown of the head up, chin tucked in a little, just so that we don't fall asleep easily. And if we want, we can rest the tongue against the back of the front upper teeth. The back of the front upper teeth. Don't worry if that's uncomfortable. It's less distraction because the mouth tends to get less dry or too much saliva. It's just a comfort thing. So become aware of your body. Most of what we experience in terms of the image our mind creates of body is the touch sensation, contact with the skin. So where we have contact, we have a stronger sense of body. We can check if this is true. Notice with your eyes closed, notice how your body appears to your mind. You might be aware of some internal experience, muscles twitching, stomach grumbling and things like that when we get heartburn or need to go to the toilet. But generally, our image of our body is the bits in contact with clothing or chair or floor. And our mind sort of fills in the rest. It might be, if we're walking or outdoors, it might be the sensation of cool or warm or a breeze or the rain touching us. And then our mind fills in the gap. And I suspect body dysmorphia might involve filling in those gaps with a very distorted imagination. I'm speculating, but I suspect it. Okay. Now we're going to bring our awareness to our thoughts. We have a chronic habit of believing our thoughts. And yet when we sit to meditate, we realize most of it's, well, I've heard it described recently as mental diarrhea, which I think is a brilliant phrase. Most of it's mental diarrhea, and yet we have this chronic habit of believing the mental diarrhea. In fact, if somebody's never really meditated before, they're probably not aware of the mental diarrhea going on. And if you ask a new meditator what they've learned, they invariably say, I didn't realize how much rubbish goes through my mind. So just watch your thoughts at the moment. So there we go. We don't need to be harsh on ourselves if our mind has got quite a lot of verbal diarrhea in it, mental diarrhea. Maybe it turns into verbal diarrhea because once we believe what's going on in our heads, some of it does turn into speech. So we have actions of body, speech, and mind. Actions of body, actions of speech, and actions of mind. And the actions of body and speech come from the mind. So if we have verbal diarrhea, we have mental diarrhea going in our mind, then our actions of body and actions of speech perhaps won't be of the level of quality that we'd like to hold ourselves to. That's why it's good to check our mind and not. Oh, and one step back from that, often our mind is producing thoughts from our feelings. So it tends to go feelings, thoughts, and then actions of body and speech. And we can, therefore, it's very important to gradually start to become connected to feelings in the body. It can be quite a journey, but once we do, we start to become in control of what comes out of our mouth and our physical actions. Now become aware of our feelings. So we're going back to what is often the root of all of our future actions, is our current feelings. We're not here to judge them. We're not here to want them away, wish them away. We're here to witness them, to become consummately witnessing them. If your mind wanders away, which it has more of a tendency to do with the feelings, because they're often unpleasant to some degree, and just come back, and we're developing the emotional composure that we've developed physically by banging, knocking into ourselves and becoming tolerant to pain physically. We're very, very intolerant to emotional pain. Bring your awareness back into the body, to the feelings, and rest there. Whatever feeling comes up, if we can do this little exercise, it will lose power over us to some degree each time. Sitting, developing emotional composure with feelings is the way out. It's the way out of discontentment. It settles us, it stops us running around searching externally for happiness. So this is a very, very direct, profound meditation. We've met now with body, body, thoughts and feelings. Directly and honestly. Not with anything added in, hopefully. Judgments or interpretations, analysis. And if you do have those judgments and shoulds, and I should be better at meditation, and tonight's difficult or easy, let those thoughts flow away like a leaf on a stream, because they're just mental diarrhea as well. They're commentary to our meditation. We can let that fall away. Otherwise, it can very easily ruin our meditation practice. Actually, we can become despondent, hard on ourselves. Just let those thoughts go as well. Recognize them as just another thought, if you can. And if you can do that, you're starting to remove that little voice in our heads that abuses us. We'd never tolerate what it says from anyone else. We can be free of it. It can stop little by little. It's what comes from the emotional composure as well, is that berating mind starts to be less and less till it stops. Now bring your awareness to your jaw. Relax your jaw muscles. The jaw muscles tighten up because we want to control the world. And we fear and catastrophize about a future that never happens. And will never happen. Not in the way we think it will. We can check, did it? Did the past happen the way we thought? Every now and again, mostly not. Relax those jaw muscles. Relax the muscles around the cheeks, the lips. Imagine the space between the eyebrows widens and becomes supple. The center of our insight. Insight just means seeing the truth, really, joining the dots. And the clearer our mind becomes, the quieter our mind becomes, the more easy it is to gain insight into why we are feeling and reacting the way we are. We become, to some degree, our self-counselor. We can go behind the wizard's curtain in our own mind, start to let the mind bring up what's really going on for us, bring up what we are really hiding from, what we're avoiding, what we're wishing for, what we're frightened of. Now bring our awareness to our shoulders and our neck. And imagine warm summer sunshine beating down. Allowing the arms to rest under their own weight and the shoulders to relax, keeping the crown of the head up, chin down, chin in a little. Just letting the whole of that area relax off. Keeping the mind gently alert so it doesn't go dull as we relax. Now bring the awareness to the left shoulder and scan all the way down the arm to the fingertips. Where you meet the most tension, relax it off. And then on and on, all the way down to the fingertips. And the same now from the right shoulder, all the way down. And from the left hip, the thigh, the calf, bring in tenderness and kindness and gentleness to your practice. Relax your left leg. And now bringing the awareness to the right hip, scanning down that, being loving and kind and gentle to our limbs to do so much for us. And now we picture inside of us black smoke swirling around in our body cavity. And bound up in it is our tendency to focus on the minutiae. We often get dragged into, quite intensely dragged into the day, dragged into the hour or the minute or the moment, and lose track of that trail that we're leaving behind, which has got some lovely, beautiful things in it. that we can develop gratitude for. So bound up in this black smoke swirling around is our tendency to sweat the small stuff, if you like, and worry. And with 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths, visualize the black smoke coming out into the distance. And bound up in it is this worry about day-to-day trivial things that rob us of joy and gratitude. And after the 3rd deep out breath, imagine this worry and this stress about the small stuff is taken away and gone. Imagine if we felt grateful for the things that had happened in the day, and that was the measure of success rather than how much we'd got through our to-do list. How much different would that feel at the end of the day? Because sometimes you will have done little things for other people, things that you think are little, and are massive for the other person. It totally transforms their day. Takes their fears away, soothes them, inspires them, encourages them, makes them feel valued. We may not realize just the impact we have on people when we're coming from love and patience. Now, as you breathe in, you can visualize sparkling golden light coming in through our nostrils into our heart, our limbs, our head, the vast space of our mind. It's gentle, it's kind, and it's beautifully accepting of everything. Visualize this sparkling golden light. It's peaceful, loving, and appreciative. Now we're going to do the breathing meditation. We've developed some gratitude already, some patience, some peace, relaxed our body, tried to put life into a little bit of perspective. Now we're going to practice some concentration, which is like a muscle in the mind. Breathing meditation does this. And concentration brings peace. It's the nature of meditative concentration. It brings peace. So follow the breath in all the way down. And then all the way back out. Keep your mind relaxed and nicely alert. And just enjoy it. Enjoy the simplicity of these moments, the beauty of just breathing in service of peace. Now we bring our awareness into our nostril linings. Notice it's cooler as we breathe in, then there's a pause, and then it's warmer as we breathe out, and then there's a shorter pause. As you breathe in, let your belly out, so there's no resistance. We often shallow breathe as we get tense during the day, wanting things to be different from the way they are. That's our human condition. As you breathe in, let your belly out, no resistance to the breath entering. And as you breathe out, let your belly back in, which aids the breath going out. In this way, we're welcoming in the breath that keeps us alive. And now bring your awareness into your nostril linings. The cool and the warm. And now to the rims of the nostrils. Again, the cool and the warm at the rims. Notice where it's most cool and it's most warm. And let this curiosity help your concentration, help you stay with the task at hand. So we've done this part of the prep now. We've practiced some concentration, let our thoughts fall away, and we're ready to do the main meditation, developing joy and gratitude. In this, we're trying to elevate our mind above the day-to-day, the to-do list of things that we have to try and sort out. We rise above it, and we can look from our whole life at something we want to feel grateful for. Anything in your whole life, anything. I'm a great believer in the mind wanting to evolve and heal itself naturally when we get out of the way. So just give your mind carte blanche to pull something out of the memory for which you can feel grateful. Plenty of time. Don't rush it. And just go with what comes up. Allow yourself to feel grateful. Remember that thing and just bring your mind to it and contemplate it. When some joy arises, some gratitude, let go of the visualization. You can come back to it if you need to. Be confident enough that a little bit of feeling will be enough to practice with. A bit of gratitude and joy come up, and just allow them to be here for your mind to come back to each time, to concentrate on, like we did with the breath. So don't be scared to drop the thoughts, contemplation, and just rest in the gratitude and joy, no matter how small. Notice where they arise in your body. Remain focused on this area and this feeling. If they fade, try and recall them. If they won't, go back to the visualization, whichever bit was the best at invoking the gratitude and the joy. It's just a vehicle to get the feeling back. Whichever is easiest, go to it, invoke the feeling and rest in it again. your mind's getting busy, you're probably trying a little bit too hard, or your concentration's waned a little. Come back to the feeling or re-invoke it through something that you consider. And imagine that this gratitude and this joy just increase. So we mustn't shortchange ourselves. We can allow it to increase inside of us. Hugely. Let rip. Let that joy, let that gratitude increase tenfold. Don't resist it. And if there is some resistance, that's guilt and shame in the background, but don't worry about those. Just keep doing it. Notice. If you're really struggling to develop gratitude and joy, particularly joy, you may want to look what's underneath in terms of guilt and shame. But don't do that as an easy out. Stay with it unless it's really difficult. And then if it is, there's something more important to be looked at, and that's the guilt and the shame, to just sit with it. Just sit with it as the new object of meditation. But not in the first instance. Give it a really good go to sit with the joy and the gratitude. If you haven't already done so, let the thoughts fall away. Concentrate on the feeling in your torso, wherever this feeling of gratitude and joy is, no matter how tiny an amount. Just bring your awareness fully there the next 30 seconds or so, and check very carefully. If your mind wanders away, bring it back as quick as you can. Nice, gentle alertness. Before we come out of meditation, we can dedicate the peace and the gratitude and the joy to these people who have come up in our mind in a positive way in this meditation. May they find contentment, may they find joy themselves and gratitude. May their minds fall peaceful. May they rest in stillness. And then when it feels comfortable, just gently allow your eyes to open. Remain aware of how you feel so you can enjoy the peace. Thank you. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to do more, there are more classes recorded on my YouTube channel, Paul Follows Meditations. And you can get reminders for these classes on the front page of my website. So you can get email reminders of them on the front page, paulfollows.com. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a peaceful day. Thank you.